Today's video will talk about creating custom filters within the Travel Tracker routing system. Many of you already know that there are built-in filters into the system for each tab. So for example, if I'm on the Students tab, we have a sub-menu bar with many filters, and those can be things like schools. So let's say, for example, if I wanted to create a filter of maybe my middle and high school uh, students, I can choose those schools from here, my middle school, uh, two middle schools and a high school. And then I might also add onto that filter students that are designated as riders in the system, eligible for bus transportation. And then I might also want to do just those who are located inside the school district, and maybe just those students who are not yet routed. So then I can go in to unrouted. And so now I have narrowed down to 65 students that are middle and high schoolers that are unrouted, that are riders. And so yeah, that was several steps to do that. So I can, anytime I've filtered, and I've done multiple filters like that, if I think I'm going to use that again, I can simply save that filter, and that's called a custom filter. So I go into filters, custom filters, and I can save the current filter. And then I give it a name that's meaningful. So this might be middle school and high school, riders, unrouted within district. So I can get as, you know, specific as I want to, which is very helpful here. And so now watch this. I'm going to clear the filters, and you'll see that I'm back to all 1,001 of my students. And simply to get back to that list, I'm just going to go to filters, custom filters, and you'll now see the middle school and high school routers unrouted within this district. So when I filter for that, it's going to give me that current list. And if that list has changed, that's fine. It's going to give me ones that meet that criteria. Now, this is really, really helpful when you're going to assign students to routes. If you wanted, say, for example, to locate your SPED students who were unrouted and generate a new route for them, you'll notice many times when you're in the routes, if you are working with, say, for example, creating a new route, that I can specify a filter. And a lot of times it needs to be that custom filter because it's not just students at a certain school. It might be riders at a certain school that are already unrouted, whatever that may be. So if I were to go in here, for example, and say create a new route at this point. So I'm going to go in here and create a new route. I'll select the vehicle. We'll choose bus 22 and go ahead and create that new route. And then when I go in to add the new trip for this, let's say I'm going to do this as bus 22 AM, I can now select students for this. And I can certainly go in and choose school or schools for this, grades, but I can also select a custom filter. So you notice here that if I want to concentrate on middle school and high school riders that are unrouted within the district as the choices for the students who are going to show up on this, and that's going to make it easy for me to then go in and as I add my stops to the trip and I look to see what students are available, those are the students that are going to show up. So as I show these unassigned students, these are going to be based on that filter that I created. So they're going to be middle school, high school, students that are unrouted. When we can narrow down the list like that, many times you'll see this magic wand that's listed here, which will auto-generate trip stops and assign students to a bus. So if this is great for SPED students, because if you have a group of SPED students, you want to create a route for those, you can add those into a filter somehow, and then just use this magic wand to automatically generate a route based on that group of filtered students. So very, very nice to do. You'll learn more about this when we go into the video for the sandboxes, which will allow you to auto-generate routes, and many times we have to use these custom filters for that as well. So very handy feature, just very nice if you want to be able to get to the same group of students again, or if you want to use a specific group of students in routing. And so you can now see that the system has routed those 65 students. It's created an efficient route, grabbing all of those students at one time. and created stop for those, and I can simply save that. And very fabulous way of routing a specific group of students. Now you can also combine this with bus regions, which we'll talk about that in another video. So if you've got students that are in a certain area, you can create a bus region and then create that as part of your filter as well. So very nice and efficient way of generating a route based on a group of students with custom filters.